점수 잡는 hackers.
Even a long dormant volcano can experience renewed activity and erupt once more. One system that scientists use to classify volcanic eruptions is the Volcanic Explosivity Index, VEI. Okay, so abbreviations, we're just going to read it VEI. This is a widely used method of describing the size of an eruption. It is principally based on the volume of an eruption's deposit, how much debris is like remains, waste, the volcanoes emit. So emit means kind of like let go, right? Let out. So how much debris the volcanoes emit, how much debris the volcano emits, and then how much debris the volcanoes are emitting. Okay, here we are talking about factual information. And when you're talking about factual information that's unchanging, then you need simple present form. For example, you would say the game's rules are roll the dice twice. You wouldn't say the game's rules were roll the dice twice, or the game's rules are rolling, things like that. And if you see emitting, it ends with ing, which means it's continuous, like it's continuing. Continuous present form, so it's happening right now. But no, the volcanoes are not emitting things right now. We're just saying when they do emit things, right? Emitted would be past tense, not simple present. So we need to choose between the volcanoes emit and the volcano emits. And the only difference is that this one is plural, while this one is singular, right? Okay. So let's look at this again. This is a widely used method of describing the size of an eruption, right? So singular, it is principally based on the volume of an eruption, singular, deposit. How much debris? So singular, the volcano emits. We want to make that parallel. An eruption is given a VEI value on a scale of 0 to 8, along with a qualitative description. For instance, the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens deposited 1.1 cubic kilometers of debris, which placed it at a 3 on the VEI scale and earned it a classification as a severe eruption. All right, let's look at the scale that we have. So accurate interpretation of the data in the chart. Okay. It just said 1.1, right? So we want to go to the minimum volume of deposit would be 1 cubic kilometer, right? Okay. And then further down the chart, we have 10. So it's not quite 10, right? It is a little bit above 1, but around 1. So this one would be correct. And in this case, it would be a VEI of 5. And then the qualitative description would be paroxysmal, right? Okay, so let's go back. Okay, 5 on the VEI scale and earned it a classification as paroxysmal eruption, right? Okay, paroxysmal eruption would be correct, so C would be the answer. Volcanoes can also be classified according to shape. 3 main types are cinder cones, shield volcanoes, and stratovolcanoes. Cinder cones are small and conical in shape, right? So they look like a cone. They are the result of steep piles of volcanic rock and ash that have built up around explosive vents. Shield volcanoes are much wider and have a more gradual slope, so not as steep. Stratovolcanoes are taller than cinder cones and steeper than shield volcanoes. Their eruptions are typically the most explosive of the 3. So we're comparing the 3, which are what? The cinder, shield, and then stratovolcanoes, right? Okay, so here their eruptions is talking about what? The stratovolcanoes eruptions. So when you have possessive form, plural possessive form, it's spelled T-H-E-I-R. So B will be your correct answer. The Earth is dynamic, its surface constantly changing by the movement of the crust atop the magma below. 29. For instance, while scientists do their best to understand volcanic activity, it is not always predictable. Even a long dormant volcano can experience renewed activity and erupt once more. And you may be wondering why I'm reading paragraph 4 again, but it has to do with question 33, the last question of our passage. To make the passage most logical, paragraph 4 should be placed where? Okay, notice what this is talking about. This sounds like a concluding paragraph because it's wrapping up and saying the earth is, ever changing, its surface constantly changing, right? By the movement of the crust atop the magma below. And so even though scientists try their best to understand volcanic activity, it's not always predictable to them. And even a long dormant volcano can experience renewed activity and erupt once more. So basically, this whole passage was talking about the different types of volcanoes, their definitions, their names, and what they do, and how often they explode, and how they were made, or how they're shaped, things like that, right? We're comparing these types of various volcanoes, but then this one isn't comparing anything or giving us a new volcano. It's just wrapping up in conclusion and saying, because the Earth is changing always, scientists try hard, but they can't always figure out things because, events are unpredictable, and even a long dormant volcano could experience renewed activity. So that sounds like a conclusion, a good conclusion paragraph to me. So our last paragraph was paragraph 6, so it should come after paragraph 6 in order to be the very last final paragraph of this passage, concluding paragraph. Okay?